This company, bro. This company. Just when you think we finally have something that even this company cannot possibly screw up. Something so good it's sitting in their lap. It's gift wrapped with a bow on it. They can't possibly mess it up. Oh, but this company will never cease to amaze us, will they? They will find a way to screw that good thing up. We kicked off SmackDown last night with an AJ Styles Daniel Bryan main event announcement. Now, yes, what the fuck is AJ Styles even doing there? He's a Raw dude. And we're going to talk about the absurdity of it all in the actual review. But for this cold open, let's just stick with Styles versus Bryan. Because no matter how we get there, at least we know we're going to get, if WWE allows them to do what they do best, we're going to get a pretty damn solid main event. Some good wrestling. But there's a huge asterisk on the if WWE allows them to do such. But with the Royal Rumble tomorrow night from the time of this filming, and that's where everything is going to be off the wall. You're going to have a last man standing match. It's going to be wild. Goldberg is going for a championship. That's going to be absurd. 2 Royal Rumble matches. That's going to be wild, chaotic. So for last night, we're just going to have a straight wrestling match. Again, how AJ Styles got to SmackDown? I'll give you a brand-to-brand invitational, my ass. We're going to talk about it. But the fact that we're getting AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, I'm sure I can speak for most wrestling fans, we're going to be okay with that main event. As long as they let them do what they do best. And when it was all said and done, WWE didn't just find a way to screw this up. They totally insulted our intelligence. They trolled the pro wrestling fan to the highest degree. They threw common sense, logic, and care, and any believability right out the window. You want to talk supernatural in WWE? You want to talk how that's hokey pokey? You catch the last half an hour plus of this show last night, and they disregarded any professional wrestling rule imaginable. Teddy Long, holla 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 playa, Mr. Tag Team Match Creator himself, was banging his dome piece against a cement wall last night. It was so loud, wherever Teddy Long was, we all heard it in the wrestling community. Oh, we're going to talk about it. It is 14 degrees here in the tri-state, here in the New York City area. 14. The feels like is 8 degrees. 8 degrees right now. I feel like an Eskimo about to embark on an Alaskan adventure. But we bring in the fire. Oh, we're going to talk about this SmackDown go-home show to Royal Rumble 2021. SmackDown, January 29th, 2021. And we're going to talk about it right now. Alright, we've been shaking this bad boy for about 5 minutes now. It's time to crack this sumbitch and get this review started. And first, I want to salute all my AMP unit members out there. To my amplified unit, wake up, and get amplified. Red team, go! And today we're doing the 13.7 fluid ounce Starbucks Caramel Frappuccino. This is a good taste, man. So I always try to keep it special, and I try to only have it a couple of times a month. So today's one of those times where I feel this review deserves BC breaking out the caramel flavor. So I'm going to crack this now, and I want to salute all my AMP unit members. I love that sound. The top popping. Like a fine wine. I like to shake that shit up. I want to salute my AMP unit members. If you're always wondering, am I an AMP unit member? How do I know? Well, if you ever took a moment to support the channel, you're an AMP unit member. If you ever took a moment to subscribe to this channel, you're definitely an AMP unit member. If you ever took a moment to like a video down below with the little fucking thumbsies, if you ever took a moment to show that love and support back to BC, AMP unit member. If you ever took a moment to leave a comment, love you BC, thank you for the video, you're an AMP unit member. If you ever bought the merch, you're an AMP unit member. If you've ever bought the Ant Man a coffee, if you ever showed support to BC Amplified or this channel, you are an AMP unit member. So there, I hope that cleared that up. And this is a salute to you guys, man. I always try to do this, especially in live streams, but I always want you guys to know that I don't take you for granted. You guys are the best. Much love and respect. These reviews aren't as special if thousands of you aren't tuning into them every week. And we have something fucking really special in the community. And much love and respect. The first salute is to my unit. In fact, that's a double salute because it's damn good. Ow! Alright, let's get this rocking, man. Bryan starts the Royal Rumble Go Home show. D-Bry is out there with his button-down shirt and his suit jacket looking like a manager at Costco. He really did. He looks like a... You ever be eating at fucking Wendy's or fucking Burger King and the manager comes out to see if everything's okay? How you guys doing? Is everything okay? Here's a $2 off coupon for next time. Or a used car salesman. This is a dude who's about to maybe win the Royal Rumble and be the main event at WrestleMania. This guy, you would not know if he's behind you in line at fucking Target or Walmart. But there's D-Bry, man. I guess that's part of the appeal. That's why people love this dude, myself included. I don't think I've ever come across somebody who just flat out said, I don't like Bryan. Do I need to see him in the main event of this year's Mania with Roman? I mean, I would have better options. I would love to see Edge versus Roman. I would love to see John Cena versus Roman. I would love to see Seth Rollins versus Roman. I have a lot of... In my dome piece, I'm thinking better storylines, but it looks like they had Bryan starting this show, and he was selling the shit out of the Royal Rumble. So it looks like he's still one of the odds-on favorites to win this thing. So, such is life. I'll be on board. I know there's a lot of you guys that are on board with it, so I'm at least happy for you guys. I'm not that happy about it if D-Bry wins this, but because I do love D-Bry and what he's done for us in the past, I know he's a damn solid wrestler, and I know there is a lot of you guys that like it. I'm not going to shit on it that much, you know what I mean? I always try on this channel to see other people's points of views and why they may like something. But he was out there selling the shit out of the Rumble, man. And then AJ Styles hits the ring. That's right. Don't mention anything about a brand split because this company hates when you use logic and question their bullshit. Oh, forbid if we question their bullshit. So AJ Styles is out there. And after brand to brand invitational, BC. Okay, then there is no brand split is what you're telling me. If anybody can just waltz through the front door, then there is no split. So after some back and forth, a match is made between the two, and even though the common sense behind the brand split is non-existent, let's be honest, it's Styles versus D-Bry. In a Styles versus D-Bry match, for most wrestling fans, I'm pretty sure we will never turn down. So we were okay with that main event. As long as WWE lets them have a real wrestling match. You can let them go 25 plus minutes. And again, with the Royal Rumble around the corner, from the time of this filming tomorrow night, then that's where all the off-the-wall craziness is going to occur. Last man standing, Goldberg going for a title, 2 Rumble matches. That's going to be the circus. we're going to settle down and have an actual wrestling match for the go-home show. That's pretty cool. We'll do it. But wow, I never would I have imagined that they would turn this AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan main event. Never would I have imagined that they would turn it into the circus that they turned it into. We're going to get to that in a few minutes when we get to the main event. But I have never, my jaw was dropped in disbelief, and it was not the good kind. Oh, we're going to get to it, man. Bayley is up next. Bayley cuts a backstage promo on Bianca Belair, and I couldn't be more prouder of Bayley, man. She crushed that promo. Confidence, delivery, and expression. Check, check, and check. She was rolling on all cylinders, man. She was hitting grand slams last night. Not just home runs, she was hitting grand slams in that promo. It's so cool to see her come into her own. You know, in NXT, you saw the Bayley character and you were thinking, ooh, man, that's one-dimensional. And if that character flops on the main roster and she can't overcome it, Bayley's DOA. Sure enough, that character pretty much flopped on the main roster, but Bayley, she overcame it, man. She found a new character. She grew in stature, grew in maturity, grew in confidence. Everything about her delivery. Man, it was so good to see her evolve. Some people don't do that. In fact, most don't, guys. When their initial character flops from NXT or anywhere else in the world, they don't know how to rebound. They don't have another character. They can't turn it to another direction. You know? And when Bayley first turned heel, we were all thinking, is this going to work, man? I mean, she was that bubbly girl down in NXT. Is this possible? Bayley showed you, man. She's not one-dimensional. So I know this was just a little backstage promo segment, but it meant so much in the grand scheme of it all. So I'm really proud of Bayley. And this takes us into a one-on-one match with Bayley and my pick for the Women's 2021 Royal Rumble, Bianca Belair. That's who I'm going with. If WWE is constantly talking about, we know what the problem is. We know why interest is down. We need to create stars. Well, if you know what the problem is, why don't you do it? Put your money where your mouth is. If you claim you know what the problem is, you admit you haven't created stars, then why not create one this Sunday night? Because it's sitting in your lap, wrapped up with a bow on it. Her name is Bianca Belair. You can create a star. She's ready. You just gotta pull the trigger and allow it. So, does that happen Sunday night? Or do they have somebody like Charlotte Flair win it again? I don't want to put that out in the universe, but it's possible with the old man in Stamford. Anyway, back to this match. It's Bayley versus Bianca Belair. This is a rematch from 6 weeks ago on the December 18th edition of SmackDown, where Belair was defeated by Bayley. But this time around, the result would be different as Bianca pinned Bayley 1, 2, 3 via the KOD. So, double edge here. I don't know, man. Because Bianca won, is she going to now win the Rumble, right? Would they give it to somebody like Bayley now? Or because Bianca won, that's her momentum to blast her off into the stratosphere this Sunday night. I don't know if this victory is good or not. For me, it is personally. Because I want somebody who's about to win a big match, I want them to be going into that match as a winner. That was my big problem with D-Bry. If D-Bry wins the Royal Rumble, but he was booked into obscurity in all of 2020. He was a mid-carder. And then so far in 2021, he's on a losing streak. Or last night, I think he got a DQ victory in that schmaz. We're going to get to that. My point is, D-Bry has not been looked or booked to look as that winner that's going to win a Rumble and go for a championship on a WrestleMania main event this year. He hasn't been booked that way. Same thing with Belair. I wouldn't want Belair going into a Royal Rumble victory, losing every week. So I'm okay with it, but WWE's logic may be, hey, we threw her a bone on Friday night. We let her beat Bayley. Now Bayley's gonna win this Rumble. Or Charlotte Flair. They'll be happy. Bianca won Friday night. What are they bitching about? We let Bianca win a nonsensical match. Now it's Charlotte who wins the big one. You never know with the old man, so I don't put it past him. So that's why when she won, I was like, oh, good. She looks like a winner. And then I immediately thought, oh, shit. Is this Vince's way to fuck her over in the Rumble? The match time with Bayley and Bianca clocked in just over 9 minutes. So it didn't exactly hit that 10-minute mark. These two can absolutely go 17 plus and captivate. But they only gave him just over 9 minutes. Post-match, Belair cut a promo on winning the Rumble. So it could happen, right? They gave her mic time, just like I said about Daniel Bryan starting the show, really selling the Rumble. And that's why I kind of thought, oh boy, they still could be going with Daniel Bryan as the victor in the men's side. On the women's side, they gave Bianca some mic time. So the victory and the mic time, it's possible Bianca could win this thing, guys. I would be ecstatic. If it ain't going to be somebody like... The only other name I'd be okay with is Alexa Bliss because she has so much momentum on her side. The problem with that is that Alexa doesn't need... Just like I said this in yesterday's preview video. If you haven't caught that, I'll have that in the last 20 seconds of this video. Just click on one of the corners. That video will be there. But I put out a preview video and I said the same thing. Alexa Bliss doesn't need a Rumble victory to have a title match with Asuka at Mania. That story is already telling itself, and it's pretty damn good. So you don't need to waste an Alexa Bliss Royal Rumble victory for that. You could give that to somebody else like Bianca and let her kick off her storyline with Sasha Banks, which would be fun as hell. So that's my only problem with Alexa. Other than that, she's the only other name I'd be okay with. If it ain't gonna be Bliss, it has to be Bianca Belair. Anyway, maybe I've went too far on that, but I'm very passionate about that, man. You know, one of the biggest problems in this company is not creating stars. Before we can even start talking about larger than life, we need just superstars in WWE. There's hardly any, and there hasn't been any for nearly 15 years. We need to change that. You can start Sunday night by giving somebody a talent like Bianca Belair. Give her the rocket, man. She has been on that main roster for a year, and you have done nothing with her. Stop it. Stop it. That is absurd. She is too damn good. I do not want to see her turn into another Shayna Baszler, who gets absolutely nothing. And Shayna is one big loss away from being labeled that dreaded B word. And I hate that word in pro wrestling, but Shayna Baszler is about to be buried. I don't want to see Bianca Belair following in that tragic booking. So, we'll see. That's my rant on it, man. We have to sit back now and let it unfold. And we'll all find out after Rumble leaves the airwaves where we stand. And I could be praising this on Monday morning with the good, the bad, and the ugly review. Or I could be flipping out. I talk about if Goldberg actually beats Drew McIntyre, I'm flipping the fuck out. Well, if Bianca Belair does not win that Rumble, and it's not Alexa, bruh, we flying off the radar, man, because we're going buck wow. We have no choice. This company will hear us, man. These decisions have to stop being made. You have to start making the correct decisions if you want your company to turn around and actually garner real interest. That's my rant. All right, I'm moving on. Baron Corbin defeats Dominic Mysterio next via the End of Days. This was a rematch from just last week with the same result. Dominic losing. And Dominic... There was a lot of cringeworthy moments in this match. Dominic just felt like he was pressing last night. Now, I'm not saying Corbin's a great wrestler, so I'm not letting him off the hook. I mean, it takes two to tango, but it looked like Dominic was really pressing and really on edge and trying too hard. And a couple of times, Dominic nearly landed on his dome piece. It was cringeworthy, man. I almost did one of those, like, stutter look aways. Like, oh, shit. Is it me or is Dominic regressing a little bit, man? I mean, he started with that Seth Rollins feud, and I know those matches were heavily rehearsed because those were his first matches, and I'm sure Dominic and Ray and Vince, they wanted they wanted his match to be flawless so they could show the world that Dominic belongs there. He's not there just because he's his, Rey Mysterio's son. So they rehearsed those Seth Rollins matches heavily. But they were still good. I mean, rehearsed or not, you still got to go out there and do the deed. Dominic did the deed multiple times. And then he took some time off. I'm sure they wanted to, zone in on his weaknesses and really play on the strengths and just train him some more. I wish they took that time of dedication and care to Nia Jax's training. Why not take her off the road for a little bit and maybe she'll stop injuring people? There's a crazy concept. That's not shade. I have no problem with Nia. Great human being. I'll watch her in the ring. There's a presence there. There's a place for her in WWE, but train her properly. But no, you'll repackage Keith Lee and Otis, and you'll retrain Dominic. But if you injure somebody every other week, you get to stay. As long as you have a really popular cousin. Anyway, back to Dominic. So they train this dude, and he comes back, and he looks worse. So I don't know what they're doing, man. It's like they're getting in these dudes' dome pieces, and they're fucking with their psyche, and they're making them question themselves. Like, they come in with confidence, WWE shakes it up, tells them everything they're doing wrong, fucks with them a little bit, brings them back, and then they have no more confidence. But Dominic did not look good in this match, and on top of that, it's the booking didn't do him any favors. For 2 weeks in a row now, Dominic is on his back looking up at the lights. Hour number 1 ends with a Miz and Morrison brawl with Big E. That's right. Forget about the brand split. You heard Miz and Morrison on Friday night. BC, what are you talking about? What about the brand split? Oh, don't worry. There's a brand-to-brand invitational, which means you can walk through the door whenever you want, which means there is no brand split. So Big E is brawling with Miz and Morrison. What the fuck? And then we get a Sasha Banks backstage segment with Reginald. That was it. So I guess a little bit of fun with those two. I liked what they did a week previous when they had a match together, man. Reginald was like a fucking flying ninja, and not like Ninja Tozawa. This dude was like rolling and diving and flipping all around, and I'm trying to keep up with him. He was like a fucking catapulting ping pong ball. And Sasha Banks, I always say, man, she can have a 5-star Melty Boy match, 7 stars, 26-star match, with a fucking motor vehicle. And she's gonna make that motor vehicle look amazing. But that's Sasha Banks. So you put Sasha with Reginald. I actually liked what they did last week. This backstage segment wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't anything epic, but it was good to see Sasha Banks, and I'm interested to see more from Reginald. And that's how we ended our number uno. Not bad by any means. I mean, the Dominic Corbin match we could have done without, but the Bayley and Bianca match I was definitely down for. I wish they gave them more time. And the announcement of Styles and Bryan, even though I'm not happy with Styles being on SmackDown, I hate when you call something one thing and then you do another. That's a hypocrite, right? They said, oh, there's a brand split, and then you can just walk through the front door. But we're getting Styles and D-Bry, so just that thought, we know from the jump, if Vince McMahon gives them the time and lets them do what they do, we know we're going to get a good main event. So not a horrible first hour, nothing special, but nothing bad, nothing that's making us want to put our don't piece through our fucking walls, right? Unfortunately, we'd have to talk about hour number 2. And hour number 2 started off actually good. Hold on, let me get another fucking swig of my caramel frap. Find people at Starbucks. Now! Gotta start hour number 2 the right way. No. Alright, let's get amplified. Hour number 2 kicks off with a really good one-on-one interview, man, between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. They were in separate rooms, but you could cut the tension with a knife. They could be in different states, different countries, different sides of the world. And that tension was there, man. Roman took it to a personal degree, and he played off of Kevin's promo from last week, where he was talking about his tattoos representing his grandfathers and people that mean a lot to him and his family. So Roman took it there, man, and that's what I mean about this dastardly heel that Roman is playing. I love it. And Owens did not appreciate the personal approach and completely flipped out, and I was loving this version of Kevin Owens. He was screaming. He was standing up, got up off his seat, screaming. Kevin Owens was getting amplified. I love, man, when wrestlers get amplified. That's what I grew up with. Hulk Hogan in his promos was always amplified. Macho Man was amplified. Ric Flair was amplified. Ultimate Warrior was amplified. Roddy Piper was amplified. Now, sure, they may have been doing some extracurricular activities, if you know what I mean, but they were amplified. Today's wrestling is a lot more like, you know, that they all just came from playing video games in the back, and then they're like, Xavier, you gotta cut a promo. Wait, I'm about to capture the queen. Right? Oh, that's Mario Brothers. I'm dating myself. That was decades ago. Kids today don't even know about Nintendo and fucking Super Mario Bros, the original version. That's when I was playing video games. But, you know, today they're all playing video games in the back, and then they're being told 5 minutes promo, so they have to run over, and they're not amplified. They've been staring at a screen for 4 hours. So today's wrestlers, nobody's really yelling anymore. Nobody's like showing passion, and that's a big part of pro wrestling that I miss. I miss when they were all fucking jacked and ready to rock, and you believed that there was tension. You believed they were pissed. Kevin Owens took it to that level last night. I really enjoyed that. And that's what I mean. That's why promos are so important, man. And when you're cutting them right, yeah, man, the fans, the audience, the crowd, they're going to be in the palm of your hands. So I loved Owens getting amplified last night. Roman Reigns, as usual, was completely crushing his promo game, man. Roman was just on, dude. Just all methodical in all his words. Laid back, playing the cool kid in school, and he's got it all figured out, and he's not perturbed, and he's not shook one bit by Kevin Owens. And, yeah, man, he was crushing that promo game. And this is, I gotta admit, guys, he excused himself. Roman Reigns shut himself off, and Kevin Owens realized he was screaming to nobody. I thought that was a nice touch, too. This is a better build than the TLC story that they had. Going into TLC, I was like, Kevin Owens versus Roman. Okay, whatever. Because Kevin Owens wasn't booked that right. That's what I mean. You're always going to get consistency with BC. When I say that Daniel Bryan is not booked correctly, and that's why I'm not behind him going to a main event at WrestleMania, I just wish he was booked more properly. I'll say the same thing for somebody like Kevin Owens. He wasn't booked good this whole past year. I mean, he had a WrestleMania match with Shane McMahon, and then all of a sudden, he's in obscurity, he's not used, he's doing KO shows, he's down in NXT for a few weeks. It was weird. And now here he is with Roman Reigns at TLC, and I just thought the build was lackluster. I'm enjoying the build to the Rumble that they're having. I think the feud is just getting better. But I think we all agree it does have to end at the Rumble. I don't think they extend this to Elimination Chamber, right? I don't know. I'm not going to totally shit on it if they do right now because it is going so good. But I like this build. I think at Royal Rumble, I would love to see Jimmy Uso come back, as I said in yesterday's preview video. Again, that'll be up on the... when this video ends, you could just click on one of these corners. That video will be there. But I put out a whole preview for tomorrow night's Royal Rumble. And spoiler, I did talk about Jimmy Uso maybe coming back and helping his cousin Jay... his brother Jay and his cousin Roman defeat Kevin Owens. Because Owens has to lose this match because Roman has to have the title when Royal Rumble goes off the air. Roman Reigns cannot drop that championship. We all know that. But you have to allow Kevin Owens to save face because Owens lost at TLC. And then that same week, Owens lost another match with Roman in a steel cage on SmackDown. That's 2 losses to Roman Reigns already. He's about to have a third loss. You got to do it in a way where there was no way he could overcome the obstacles. If you add in Jimmy Uso, I think that's a good way where, yeah, Owens loses, but we don't look at him like this big loser. You know what I mean? You gotta help Owens out in defeat. So I think bringing in Jimmy for this event would be a good touch. And I also want to see Paul Heyman tap into his old school Paul E. Dangerously days. And with this tribal chief character, this new heel Roman, with Paul E. Dangerously, Paul Heyman, them heading a regime, a faction. Oh, bro. So I can't wait till more members join into Roman's clique. So yeah, I'm loving this build. That was a good way to kick off hour number 2. And then it all fell apart. And I can't believe I'm saying this because it starts with AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. But this is where it fell apart, man. We were hoping for a damn good wrestling, right? We had our coffees or whatever you're drinking. I had a big fucking large Dunkin' Donuts. Straight up, double shot, light and sweet. And I was hoping for a good match like all of you guys. Bryan Styles, just let him do it. You don't have to overbook this. You don't have to think too much about it. You know, the chaos is going to be in 2 nights from last night at the Rumble. That's where the chaos will be. Just give us a good wrestling match and we'll be good. And if you want to do some Royal Rumble schmaz where everybody gets in the ring afterward, right? Somehow, after the match, everybody joins in and starts fucking tussling just to show you what the Rumble looks like as if we've never seen one. Then you can do that, but just give us the match. But nope. WWE, of course, finds a way to screw this up, and I mean to the highest of degrees and levels. Styles versus Bryan, no distractions needed for this match. Just let these boys go. But instead, we get every distraction imaginable. Get this, Cesaro is on commentary. Sami Zayn is staging a peaceful protest at ringside. Big E comes down and kicks Zayn's ass. Shinsuke Nakamura hits the ring, and who knows who the fuck he was after, and before you know it, the match is over. If you blink, I can't say that. They gave him some minutes previous while all these distractions were happening, but it just ended abruptly. And who was it that attacked? Sami Zayn maybe got in the ring and attacked Bryan, maybe? For some stupid reason? Even though Bryan's not even the IC title and the whole reason for the protest is the IC title and Big E? I don't know, man. And then Shinsuke's out there for some fucking reason. And following a commercial, for some reason, we now have the strangest nonsensical 6-man tag. D-Bry, Shinsuke, and Big E versus Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, and Cesaro. What? Why? I mean, sure, there's some good talent in the ring there. But we were about to have AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. And if you blinked, it turned into a 6-man schmaz. How the fuck do you screw up something so simple like AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan? How? Just let them do what they do better than 87% of all wrestlers in the world. But of course not. WWE can't let good be good. Instead, let's find every fucking way imaginable to turn this into a circus. And this 6-man sideshow got even worse when Miz and Morrison and Otis hit the ring. So for some reason, Miz, Morrison, and Otis are hitting the ring. We go to another commercial, and when we come back, I'm not making this up. Anybody that saw this, you know the pain that we were all enduring. And if you didn't see this, this is a true story, man. We came back from another commercial, and we had a 4-on-5, 9-man schmaz match. A 4-on-5, 9-man schmaz match. What the fuck? What the fuck? Then, get this. Then, Sheamus hits the ring. Sheamus kicks Sami Zayn in his dome piece and pins him. So Sheamus comes to the ring, not even in the match, or maybe, I guess he was because it was 4-on-5. It was a free-for-all. How did we even get the 4-on-5? Why was that a match? How did D-Bry and AJ Styles turn into 6, and then that turned into 9-man, 4-on-5, and then it turned into Sheamus added himself into the match. Sheamus gets the pin. This was the dumbest shit imaginable. A huge flop for SmackDown. Huge flop for SmackDown. Nobody can tell me any different. I need another... Hold on. I need another... I can't... As I read this, I'm losing fucking dome piece cells. As I read this, I'm getting more frustrated. Because this actually happened. I wish this was just make-believe. I wish this was just some fucking booking that a fucking 6-year-old with some crayons wrote down. Give me a second. Thank you guys, because I just can't fathom this, man. Not only did they ruin Styles and Bryan, but they turned this into such a circus. They know, this is why I say they troll their fans, man. They know that so many of us are done with the 6-man schmazes, or the segments that have a one-on-one, and then people come down, we go to commercial, and when we come back, the people that were brawling are now all of a sudden in a match. They do this every single show. And they know that we're tired of it. So what did they do last night? They turned the volume up on it. They went to commercial, we get a 6-man. They go to another commercial, we have a 9-man. Then we have a fucking 10-man. Sheamus runs down to the ring, adds himself into the match, and gets the ultimate pin. Not that I really truly fucking cared about the match, because it was already off the rails. I can't, people were just adding themselves in the match. You had Raw guys out there. There was no control. There was no order. Man. Oh, man. I have to save amplification for the Rumble review, because I have a feeling there's some things we're going to have to flip out on. So I'm going to save some of the amplification. I'm going to save some of the ranting. That was so fucking bad. And that's sad. That's depressing, because we were all, I'm sure, when we heard Styles versus... If you're going to bring Styles from Monday Night Raw, and we're all going to be dumbfounded at the bullshit of the brand split, but if you're going to do it, you better do it right. Styles versus Bryan, just let him go. And they turned it into this. Like, people thought this was a good idea, to just have everybody come down. Nobody's going to question how this is even a match. Nobody's going to question people just adding themselves onto it. At one point, they didn't care, to the point where they didn't even try to make believe that they put effort into it. They didn't even try to make the audience believe that they put thought into this. At one point, it was 4-on-5. That is proof that they were backstage writing this shit out and just going, just do this. And if somebody actually said, but this doesn't make sense, it's 4-on-5, the ref would never allow, like, it's not a match. Oh, screw it. Screw it. Nobody will care. If we don't care, they won't care. Right? That's the old man in Stanford. So they started a match 5-on-4. And the weirdest people on each team. And then Sheamus, I'm rehashing it. And I'm going over it 7 times because I still can't fathom it. And then Braun Strowman comes out of nowhere. Braun Strowman comes back and starts destroying everybody. And you got Cole screaming out, could this happen on Sunday? Could this happen on Sunday? If Braun's in the Rumble, my God. I don't know, Michael, if it can happen. So apparently anything can happen on fucking Sunday. After seeing last night, you could have fucking Gilbert win this thing, and to the company, it'll be acceptable. You get something that you think you can't possibly... I think that's what frustrates a pro wrestling fan so much, especially when it comes to WWE. When you get something that you finally say to yourself, there's no way that even WWE can fuck this up. Even them. And they find a way to not just screw it up, but, I mean, they turn the volume up on the stupidity. They find ways to take idiocracy to a whole nother level. Like, I've never seen a company with this special hidden talent. Oh, and it's special, all right. It's a talent to be even worse than you were previous. And they constantly top themselves in that area. I really wanted to go into this go-home show in a more positive way. Like Monday Night Raw. SmackDown is usually better than Raw. I think we all can consistently say that. But even Raw, I'm speaking positively about the Alexa Bliss and Asuka and Randy Orton and Fiend storyline. So that keeps me a little captivated and interested. And at least we have something positive to talk about. So that was good coming off of Monday. With all the BS, man, that was one of the worst Raws I've seen. And that's saying something because Monday Night Raw is usually pretty bad. But if you took the Alexa Bliss-Asuka match away, that was a really bad Raw. But I could speak positively about that segment and the future of that storyline. So that's cool. I wanted to continue that into SmackDown. I wanted to be talking about all the positives, like Kevin Owens and Roman, right? And then the main event with Styles and Bryan. I wanted to come in front of this camera and talk about the match that they had. And how cool it was. And that's a good way to have some solid wrestling before we get to the craziness Sunday night. And they couldn't even allow somebody like BC to do that. They turned this into a fucking circus. And on top of that, what's so frustrating is they didn't even care. They didn't even pay attention to the details. At one point doing a 4-on-5. Sheamus coming in last minute and collecting a pinfall. Adding himself into a fucking match. No care. Why is Sami Zayn attacking Daniel Bryan? What the fuck? But you see, they have some history. And remember, Daniel Bryan kind of cost Sami Zayn the title. So it doesn't matter. They moved on. Big E's got it now. And Big E just came out and kicked the shit out of Sami. So why is Sami not paying attention to Big E and going to Daniel Bryan all of a sudden? Why didn't he do it 5 minutes earlier before Big E was out there? These are details nobody wants to fucking ask or pay attention to. Questions nobody wants to ask. Details nobody wants to pay attention to. And then there's BC. I guess I'm just too smart to be watching pro wrestling these days. I gotta dumb myself down to everybody else's level. Unreal, man. Unreal. That was just bad, man. That was just bad. All right, we're harping on, man. This is going to be a fucking 45-minute vid at this point, so I'm going to let you guys kick ass this weekend. Thank you for joining me. And tomorrow night, man, the talk is over. It's time for Royal Rumble now. Tomorrow night, the show goes on the air. There's no going back now. Whatever they're deciding, the final touches are being put down now. And even though McMahon changes shit last minute all the time, last minute is about to be up. Yeah, tick-tock, as fucking Karrion Kross says. Because they're going to have shit finalized. Tomorrow night, this shit goes live. And we're going to find out who is the Women's 2021 Royal Rumble winner. We're going to find out who they decided to go with the men. In WrestleMania, after tomorrow night, guys, think about this. After tomorrow night, the WrestleMania picture will be a lot more clearer. So all the fucking discussion, all the debate, all the wondering, yeah, that's going to be out the window after tomorrow night because some of the big main events will be a lot more clearer, man. So we'll see. And then I'll be with you guys. The next time I'm with you guys is going to possibly be Monday morning, unless I decide to do something late Sunday night, if things get really fucking bad on that show. But I'll see you guys for the Royal Rumble. We'll talk for the Rumble review and reaction. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I may have to have a new column if it's really fucking bad. I'm hoping they put together a good show. I really am, man. I want to come in front of you guys on Monday and talk about fucking positives and talk about how we're in the right direction and talk about how WrestleMania is pretty fucking, it's shaping up to be pretty solid. We'll see. Until then, to all my AMP unit, much love and respect. We'll talk soon. The Rumble! The Royal Rumble! As Vince McMahon used to say back in the day, man. That's when shit was good. Tomorrow night, let's rock it, and we'll talk about it Monday morning. Check you later.